So 5318, the forum, took place in Camden, New Jersey on March 5th and 6th this year, and it was hosted by American Water at their corporate headquarters. So that is also an interesting question, because I feel like in terms of people and demographics involved in the water and wastewater treatment space, it included everybody. So engineers like myself and utilities, of course, but we also had a number of academics there. We had some regulators that were present there from a number of states. There were people from the foundation, so research is represented. And as a sixth category, we actually even had one manufacturer that has a product specifically trying to remove microplastics in wastewater supplies. The event had a very unique organization, at least as far as typical events where content is disseminated is concerned. So we divided it up into various topic areas like communications or health effects or treatment, and then we started each session with three speakers generally, and the intent of the speakers was to seed the conversation. So each of these three folks would talk about maybe 20 minutes, so an abbreviated presentation more or less, maybe talk about what they're doing or what the issues are with respect to that particular topic area of microplastics. And then we went into a Q&A session or an open discussion. And we tried to emphasize to the people in the audience that the questions that you want to ask or the points you want to make aren't necessarily related to only those three people that spoke, although it could be, but really just anything you want to talk about with respect to treatment or health effects, whatever it was that topic session was about. And some people did ask the speakers specifically questions about their work, but we were also successful, I think, in our goal of fostering communication, collaboration, questions about those particular topic areas, even things that the speakers didn't specifically talk about, and that was the point. So what's going on in health effects? What do we know? What don't we know? How do we need to collaborate to address those issues? And I feel like that forum worked very well to accomplish our goals. We did a couple of things. I think the first is just in taking notes on the conversation, we captured a lot of good information from the whole array of all six demographics and people with various ranges on the subject matter expertise spectrum. And those notes are a valuable resource for us to understand kind of where we are with respect to microplastics. But as a more focused exercise, at the end, we had people go around in each of the different topic areas and write on these pieces of paper, what do we think are the issues or concerns about microplastics in those topic areas? And then people, as they would go around, would write new questions on the pieces of paper, or they would say, yes, I agree with this, sort of check it or emphasize in some way that yes, that we concur, that's something that's also important. And between those two, now we have this great wealth of information that we can use to help direct where the research needs to go into the future. In terms of resources, I would say right now the landscape is kind of sparse. Hopefully 5318 will change that. So by and large, I'd say stay tuned, because the report for 5318 will contain some of that background information. Now I know there are specific Water Research Foundation projects reports already available, like the one we worked on 5155 on communications, but that's specific to that issue. So if you're learning more broadly about microplastics, I'd say, again, stay tuned for 5318. And incidentally, we're working on a book with AWWA, which is kind of an entry-level document to help get you in the space for microplastics. Probably will be published sometime next year in 2026. But incidentally, I'm co-editing it, and many of the people who are authors on the chapters, myself included, are also people who attended the forum. So a lot of synergy there. So maybe not the most satisfactory answer, because there's a lot of information out there. But if you're looking for one good source, or just a couple of good sources to really get you in the game, so to speak, you probably just have to wait a little bit longer, and then those resources will be available.